Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wonders. I am KibbyRose. I am Authortubes, lesbian, psychic stoner. I am here to fill your little bit of evening with some personal rants, some planet influences, current events mingling, some lessons, some horoscopes. You know, we have a busy day. I have a ton of work to do. We're going to play around with the computer and see what it can handle tonight. So, should be an interesting stream. So let me play the opener and we'll get on with it. So just a quick little rundown for anybody who's new here of how we do things around here. First of all, thank you to the replay crew. I do see you. I do appreciate you guys coming in and liking and subscribing the video, or liking the video and watching, and I do appreciate it. I do notice that like 50% of you that watch are not subscribed. So just remember to subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. I'm not one of those that's going to, demand money from you. Membership subscriptions, very different. I'm a subscription, it's free. Go ahead and subscribe, ring that little bell, it'll let you know when I go live. Today we're going to cover personal rants about International Women's Day, which is now International Women's Month, if you haven't heard. We're going to cover planetary influences after a 10-minute sprint, because that's how we start around here. The planetary influences, we're going to cover that we shifted into a Cancer moon. Then we do a 20-minute sprint after that. Then I cover some current events and how the planetary influences are causing current event fluxes. So my clients and my students can kind of see how things are interpreted in that way and can apply them to their real life. Then we do a 20-minute sprint after that. And then we cover horoscopes. And that's when I do any client readings that come in, or any of you, the subscribers out there, comment or like or anything and want to have a question answered or do a reading. So it's going to be a busy day. I have to do some work in Final Cut Pro for a couple of videos that are my craft do-it-yourself videos that are going to be coming up prior to. I'm still working on my P2P episode, but these are videos that I actually had in the back burner prior to this. So I figured I'd get them out and play around with Final Cut Pro using those videos before doing the series. So that, along with literally piles of work that I have. Let's just say there was a little bit of a slowdown as Venus went into retrograde. I definitely felt it in the work area. I had a little bit more focus on the comfort and security of home, just like they said it would happen. Well, needless to say, I didn't realize that I had hidden my piles until I was doing work today and pulling stuff out and went, oh, wow, look at that. I hid away all my piles of things to do. So I'm going to be catching up on some things. For Amy, I do have the preps list for the spell packets that you asked for. So I will be working on that as well. I have more stories to add to my P2P series, which is another reason why it seems to be getting extended, because every time I record for the P2P series, I remember more stuff. And I want to have episodes in the future where the stuff where I'm like, oh, and that's a story for later, I actually cover the story for later. So I've been compiling lists in regards to that. And that's what's pretty much going on today. I'm super happy because tomorrow is technically International Women's Day. And I was going to cover that in the more of the planet influences and current events rant. However, I thought I'd make it a bigger deal because if you didn't hear last night, not only did Trump sign an executive act to make International Women's Day the entire month now, but also because my little happy heart, I'm half Irish, they're showing he also signed in a bill that honored the month as Irish American Heritage Month. So I'm super stoked about that. And I thought I would just share a little bit on, because I like sharing information, if my mouse will work, on International Women's Day. and just kind of how it came into existence and came to be. Because when I looked into it, I always thought it started in America, and it actually didn't. It actually, the earliest version reported was Socialist Party in New York City on February 28th, but it was inspired by a German delegates in 1910 of International Socialist Women's Conference in Copenhagen. And the purpose was a special day for women. Clairaudience, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, leader of the Women's Office for the Social Democratic Party in Germany. She tabled the idea of the International Women's Day because she proposed that every year in every country, there should be a celebration on the same day. Vladimir Lenin declared March 8th as International Women's Day in 1922 in honor of the women's roles in 1917 Russian Revolution. The holiday became a mainstream global holiday following its promotion by the United Nations in 1977. And female soldiers from Peru, Egypt, India, and other countries celebrate International Women's Day as well. It was originally meant to give focus to issues such as gender equality, reproductive rights, and violence and abuse against women in all nations. So I just thought that was very interesting that it actually originated not only in Copenhagen, but also kind of in Germany. So this is really, it's not just an American thing, it's an international thing. And the fact that Donald Trump has now made it an entire month, I think speaks volumes to how this is pretty much one of those things, again, where Pluto in Aquarius. Significant changes in humanity that begin with sudden endings. Level of progress will be extraordinary. Well, he ended the one-day thing and he moved it into a whole month. So I thought I would share a little bit of that. And since we covered that, we're going to jump into a little 10-minute sprint here so we can get set up. I have quite a lot to cover in regards to current events, which is why I'm kind of going through the personal rants quickly, because the amount of information that we're going to be covering in regards to the overall planetary influences and how they're affecting current events right now, it's extraordinary. I was kind of just watching things unfold and going, wow, Cancer Moon, you really do have an effect on people's emotions, don't you? Woo, doggy. So we're going to mute this real quick. We're going to pop this up. We're going to unmute to here, and I will see you guys. So for my clients, again, this is one of those days that you're just going to want to have a pad of paper. There's going to be a lot that I'm going to cover. So that's going to be your best way to do it. And let me know to any of my mods if the Wi-Fi is, if I'm coming through as a robot, because I'm showing that the Wi-Fi is fighting again. So, all right, in 3, 2, 1. I swear those timers go a lot fast than you think. And you don't realize it until they're done, right? Well, welcome back. I was able to get some notes done, a couple of things finished. I was able to fill out my manifestation card. So that sprint was fairly productive for me. So for my clients, get ready because I'm about to go over this kind of quickly, but not quickly, but the best way that I can explain it, okay? For my newer clients, just try to keep up, do notes as best you can. Just remember the next 20 minutes sprint, you can always go back and rewatch, so don't panic, okay? For my advanced clients, just remember this is an overall arcing that you are to apply to your regular clients and the people around you, okay? So, starting with Sun in Pisces. And remember, a lot of this is going to be repeated except for the moon, because the moon is the only thing that shifted right now. But Venus has decided to spend a little bit more time in retrograde, so we have extended that, okay? So Sun in Pisces, sensitive and compassionate interactions with subtle emotions, deep depths, and better connections to the divine. Just remember, this is the overall energies across all influences, okay? This is kind of the big bubble that we're sitting in. Each layer you can kind of consider like the Sun's energy you can consider as a big ball of energy that encases us all. Each planet and moon you can consider as its own little ball of energy inside this ball that influences whatever it's closest to, okay? And the best way I can explain it, and this is just how I see it, the bigger your space, the bigger space you take up energy-wise, like the bigger the person you are, such as a president, a leader, somebody significant, the bigger the energies are, you tend to lean more towards the big planets. And for those on either the opposite of energy or the more little people, we tend to be influenced more by the smaller planets. So that's just something I've noticed. In your own perspective, because we're all different, you can see it differently, and that's okay. Just learn to recognize patterns, because that's going to be the best way to understand how you're able to see energies and how to navigate them in the future, okay? So the moon in Cancer, which is our closest energy source that influences us the most, including our planet, extraordinary, sensitive, and receptive type energies. Emotional and family security is at the forefront. Moodiness with a protective undertones, and enhance in imagination, creativity, and connection. Now, this is something that you saw starting yesterday afternoon, and I'm going to use political and famous stuff that has happened recently in the last 48 hours to kind of give a good example of this. 24 hours. Thank you. Thank you. Correction, 24 hours. So Mercury in Aries, this goes retrograde on the 14th. Just remember that. So because we're 7 days prior to, we might start feeling the negative effects of retrograde if you're a hypersensitive. Extremely active mental energies, expression of thought in dynamic ways, stronger ability to argue, keen powers of intellect. If the stronger ability to argue isn't something that you're seeing on the forefront of everything right now, especially with the strong political views that are going on, it's time to reassess how you're saying things. I'm just going to say. Venus in Aries has impulsive and strong urges in love, bolder in romance with chances to make a move and enjoy the chase, potentially be hasty in habits. Now, just remember, Venus is in retrograde. So if you're thinking of starting a relationship, don't do so until April 12th. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, April 12th is when Venus stops its retrograde. So we literally will have two planets starting March 14th that are both in retrograde. This is what I talked about when I said that things are going to get worse before they get better. Even the planets are showing this, okay? So for all of you out there that are hypersensitives that are watching what's going on right now and they're like, oh my gosh, when's it going to stop? Probably after April 15th, which is kind of funny because that happens to be the end of tax season as well. So if you guys haven't noticed, there's a lot this year that's lighting up with the way the energies are shifting with the planets and everything else, okay? So Mars in Cancer, focus on domestic and emotional security, greater urgency to protect loved ones and hypersensitivity. That's another one. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are throwing fits right now. Let's just say if you see those people that are absolutely throwing temper tantrums right now, that's why. Jupiter in Gemini, opportunities for good fortune, stimulation and new experiences, curious and witty energies. Saturn in Pisces, pull to reflect on past experiences, oneness with the divine. For those that hate to hear it, but for those of you that are happy to hear it, just know Saturn in Pisces is one of the biggest ones that has Trump's back. Okay, pull to reflect on past experiences, oneness with the divine. Uranus is in Taurus, sudden changes in finance, innovative energies with practical application. Elon Musk. Uranus and Neptune in Pisces, greater emphasis on all things mystical and imaginative. Spirituality will be embraced collectively. That's kind of the Republican whole, as you can feel it. And then the other this one, I always say Pluto influences us as much as the sun, because here's the thing. Earth is here, right? There's only one, when it comes to what is in Pluto's range to affect when it comes to energy, because it's always from the planet to the sun, everything is in its way. So the sun and Pluto, even though Pluto's tiny, actually has the same amount of effect on both. It's just on other end. Okay. So that's why you're seeing the significant changes in humanity that begin with sudden endings and a level of progression that will be extraordinary, mixed with the sensitive and compassion interactions with subdual emotions and deep depths, better connection to the divine. It's hitting. That's why I was telling people this year, it is literally going to hit us from both ends. Last year, Pluto wasn't in Aquarius. Pluto just shifted into Aquarius about 6 months ago. We have been seeing the effects since. What we've been going through is unavoidable. And with Venus going into retrograde at the same time that Mercury is going to be a retrograde, and both of them in Aries, it is going to get worse before it's going to get better, because these people that are throwing a temper tantrum now, karma is trying to teach lessons. And when I said this year that you have two choices, either learn from your mistakes or have karma hit you hard, this is what I was talking about. I said everybody's going to get a second karmic hit before June. June is the deadline, basically. If you haven't learned your lessons by June, watch out, because June is where the amount of rug pulls that are going to happen in June is literally going to shock people. They think it's going to happen in April. It's not. That's just that's your warning shot. April's your warning shot. June is when it fully happens. And it lines up with the holidays, guys. It lines up with the spring equinox and the summer solstice. The planets are influencing a lot of the changes that are going on right now. And that's why it seems so hard to resist it. And first of all, if you're going with it, that's why it's also feels so easy to go with the flow of it, because of the fact that there's so much backing this. But at the same time, for those who are resistant, that's why it seems like no matter how hard you dig your feet into the dirt, you're getting pulled forward. And it's very much that commercial of, the rabbit with the bull, where he's just like, dee, 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 and the bull is just digging up dirt, trying to keep his hooves in the soil, but it's not working. And we've got a lot of change that's coming. So for all of you that have clients that are the hypersensitives, that take things very dramatically, that can't handle changes, just know that it's going to get worse before it gets better. Okay. So the next thing I kind of wanted to talk about was, I've actually been able to kind of match up current events with some of the planetary energies. And this was something that Becky recommended me to do. And Becky, it was a good idea. And I think it will help a little bit more for people to understand. Okay. So for instance, my angels just came in because they're like, yeah, we've got some strong energies going on when it comes to what planets are matching up to these energies. And that's kind of how I checked with it, is I checked with my angels. But International Women's Month and Irish American Month, that shift, and no more taxes on tips happens to be the Pluto and Aquarius energy that we talked about. The Cancer moon is what is causing a lot of these dramatic feelings to be associated with, it's the negative side of the Cancer moon that's causing a lot of resistance to this change. Okay. Joe Rogan and his podcasts, and the way that he's been able to bring attention to a lot of things that have remained hidden, even though Joe Rogan tends to be very controversial, especially for somebody like me who is a very strong feminist. I actually have appreciated his podcast recently because he's been bringing multiple views to the table, and I appreciate that. And I noticed that this is actually Uranus and Taurus energy, and Joe Rogan's rolling with it, and I appreciate he does. But also, if you look at Joe Rogan himself, he definitely matches up with the godlike energy of the planet Uranus, and that the god Uranus is supposed to be Titan, and Titan is one of the bigger gods, as you could basically say. So, and then the next one is Oh, I already mentioned that. Elon Musk. Well, my whole argument was this. I heard that NASA sent a private company landed a delivery on the moon And I thought it was interesting because they were like, oh, this private company has landed a payload on NASA, on the moon for NASA. And I was like, why does NASA need a payload to the moon? And then here's another thing is I went back to like clip it and the video was gone. And it was replaced with another one that talked about the moon landing, but it was more about, oh, the takeoff and the landing and everything else. But it's still stuck in my head of why did NASA need a payload to be sent to the moon? What do we got on the moon that needs a payload? I got questions. Anyway, Elon Musk doing the dual duty also with Doge and being able to do what he's doing with SpaceX. Again, Jupiter and Gemini. And for any of those who find this controversial, I'm sorry if you find it controversial. The only reason I bring it up is to be able to kind of show the influences of the planets within even our policy, our politics and everything else. When it comes to Hollywood, here we go. You guys ready for this one? Are my LA boys ready for this one? Okay. Roseanne and the whole Roseanne and Tana and Trisha situation, Roseanne Pansini, Trisha Paytas, that situation. The first half of it, Taurus moon. Trisha timing in, Mars in Cancer. Or no, sorry. Roseanne calling everybody out was or the first move, who was it? Thank you. It was Tana. That's my memory telling me. Tana was the one that started it. That was in the Taurus moon. Roseanne jumped in. That was Mars in Cancer. Trisha's reaction is now the moon in Cancer. And I'm saying this because you can literally see how not only, and I'm not saying that it was just Mars in Cancer that influenced Roseanne Pansini. It was also the Taurus moon that influenced her too, and the sun in Pisces. But I'm saying that her doing the video that she decided to do in her bathrobe with her hubby or significant other, that was definitely a Mars and Cancer's type energy. Okay. And then Trisha's reaction and how defensive she got and how emotional she got, not only sun in Pisces, but moon in Cancer. So as I'm saying, you guys can definitely see, and this kind of relates to your clients, how as the energies shift, especially with your hypersensitive ones, you can actually watch and prepare and kind of add to the prediction of what might come and be able to set them up for better. Because the thing is if you can anticipate or be able to predict if you understand what is coming in their lives based on the energies and what you see, and we're doing that whole trifecta, because we know that I use telepathy, I see lifelines, I talk to angels, I create that trifecta. Most of my clients do the same thing. You're going to be able to add to that side, to the side of the triangle. So just understand that, okay? The other one I wanted to go into is how, if we notice Disney, how many of us notice how Disney has been curtailing and moving things around, shifting from the Snow White thing to the View thing to the CBS to Star Wars to Kathleen Kennedy. You guys, they're doing so many bobs, dobs, and weaves at this point. I can't even keep track of everything. Disney was so they were so just like, we're going to move in the shadows. They don't even care anymore. And that's because of the negative side of Neptune and Pisces. Okay. Now, just remember, there are negative and positive sides to every planet. And some of those that are in the negative side of karma will reside on the negative side of the influences of the energies of those planets. Disney is doing that. Now, Disney is trying to do the whole old PR trick, which is going to expose Mercury and Venus. And I really wish Disney hadn't tried to start doing this right before we shifted into retrograde with Mercury and Venus, because them trying to keep Snow White quiet, sweep things under the rug, shift gears without really saying anything or taking accountability. It's not going to work. The problem is from what I'm understanding with Disney, and this is kind of where you guys need to see how the influences work here. And we'll see if I'm also wrong. Okay. What is going to happen is the quieter that Disney gets, the louder the people are going to be as to why Disney is staying quiet. The truth is this year, for any company to be able to sideswipe or navigate any of this controversy, is to literally step out, say, we screwed up. We made a mistake. We're shifting gears. Here's how we're shifting gears. Thank you very much for your criticism. Hope we can do better next time, and move on. That is the only way that you're going to be able to handle things this year. So everybody, even in your personal lives, if you've noticed it, sweeping stuff under the rug, trying to navigate and dodge and bob and weave, all it's doing is exposing you more. That is because Pluto shifted into Aquarius. The old tricks aren't going to work anymore. The Justin Baldone and Blake Lively case is another perfect example. There used to be a time when Blake Lively would have gotten her ruling on being able to do the discovery and everything else. It's now, sorry, Pluto's in Aquarius now. There's more control over the sensitivity of things. So also, Chiron in Aries is also helping a lot of the Justin Baldone situation because wounded healer. Okay, people are not going to be able to attack the innocent anymore. To be like, especially in Hollywood, and that's what I love about this Blake Lively and Justin Baldone case. Is the truth is they attacked the victim, hoping the victim would stay silent, wouldn't rise up, wouldn't say anything, wouldn't fight back, and they'd be able to just sweep the whole thing under the rug and right into the sunset on the glorious back of their horse. And not anymore, because there's too many people standing in line going, wait, before you go riding off, what about that? What about that? What about that? What about that? That, and that, and that. Oh, and what about this over here? And that happens to do with Chiron and Aries. Wounded healing, acknowledgement of concealed traumas, opportunities for growth, and deep understanding. So just understand that even the Chiron is having an influence in these energies, okay? So now that we covered that, I'm going to go through my notes and cross out what we've already covered so that on the next little rant, I can actually cover some for dance moms. I'm going to answer Miss Christy Lucasiak's question from her podcast right here on my channel, because I think that's going to be the easiest way for me to answer her. So, and then I've got notes on, I'm just saving the dance mom stuff for later, for after this next sprint, because I got notes on JoJo Siwa, on Brooke, on Christy Lucasiak, on, Holly and Nia. So, and then I've got, for anybody who wants to know, I've got some stuff on the Beyonce, Baldwin, Kardashians, Tara June, and yeah, I think we already covered the rest. So we're going to put 20 minutes on the clock up here. We're going to mute this, add it to the stage, pause, bring you back, unmute, and I will see you guys in 20 minutes. And for my clients, just remember, you can rewind, rewatch, and it'll probably be about 20 minutes, okay? So 3, 2, 1, and don't forget. Okay, so that is the end of that sprint. I was able to get a lot of work done. I forget how fast 20 minutes goes, but also how much I can get done in 20 minutes. For those of you that were watching, what I smelled were these calming salts from WitchCasket. They are just, I forget exactly what's in it, but oh, it does the trick every time. And then the other thing I have is just a long time love. Bath and Body Works vanilla lavender lotion. Two of my faves. So just because they're so calming and relaxing. So I'm about to go on a little rant, but first of all, since we've been sitting here working for about an hour, I knew that was going to happen. I don't know if you guys heard that, but my back literally cracked 3 times on that one. So go ahead and stretch and save. Oh, save your work. Do a stretch. Because, yeah. All right. So now that that's done. So I'm going to go on a little rant here now. And for those of you that don't know, I am a Dance Moms stan. I have been a Dance Moms stan since they originally came out with their series 12 years ago now. It was, my ex-husband can contest, it was something that I loved it. I lived for it. It combined both my love of dance and my artistry of dance with the chaos and drama of production and everything that I remember from my mom and spending days in her classrooms in theater and everything else. So it was just, it's one of those things I love. I fell in love with the people. There's several moms and characters that I ended up completely relating to that after time. Yeah. And so when I have been watching their episodes on rerun, I have all 7 episodes or seasons purchased. I'm obsessed a little bit, just a little bit. So there is some stuff that I wanted to bring up because I do watch them and I noticed that there's a lot of stuff, where their lives navigate according to, they're very much sensitive and in tune with energies probably because they went through so much trauma as kids and in their younger years that inevitably they had to become attuned to energies in order to survive. There's only one way to survive a narcissist, and that's either to become an empath or a narcissist yourself. You either learn to, to portray the same energies so they stop picking on you, or you become an empath in order to become hypersensitive and navigate the energies accordingly. This kind of situation they had to go through. So on that note, I also am a Disney stan. I have been a Disney stan since I was yay big, born and raised on it, went there all the time. Nia and Holly just happened to be combining the two at this point, both my love of Dance Moms because of Nia and Holly, and now their constant promotion of Disney. There's only one disappointment I have with this. I highly loved Holly's balance on the Dance Moms podcast. Don't get me wrong. I love their podcast still an avid fan, still listen, give them props for their accountability all the time. However, it was just, Holly gave that balance that sometimes you need when you have a bunch of fun-loving, high energy, sensitive women. However, I did not think that Holly would trade doing a podcast that was honest, sincere, taking accountability and everything else to start promoting for Disney. And for those of you that don't know, promoting for Disney is one thing. Promoting for Disney the way Holly is doing it and Nia doing it is quite another. Here's why. It's very clear to me with A, what they wear, B, what they promote, C, where they go and how they do, that they are getting paid on the back end by Disney to promote Disney. It wouldn't be my first rodeo in doing so. It wouldn't be my first rodeo knowing people who have done so. I don't care if you do so. I do care if you don't expose to your fans that you are being paid to promote something. Big problem with that. There's a main reason I don't follow a lot of people on TikTok because that's my biggest problem with people on TikTok. I don't do fake. I grew up in LA. I know what fake is like. I know where it gets you. I don't like it. I avoid it on every cost. And I feel like Holly and Nia are starting to go towards that. And I'm disappointed because I know for a fact that if you were just going to Disney and just posting for fun, it would be a very different format than what you're doing. And that's how I know. So I just had to put that out there that I am I never thought I would ever say that I'm disappointed in Holly Fraser, but I am disappointed in Holly Fraser because you gave up an honest, wholesome, good podcast that was taking accountability and doing exactly what all the planets needed you to do, and traded it for the old form PR tricks that is going to be demolished by the end of this year. And so that's my note on that. The next one I wanted to say on a happier note is JoJo Siwa. If you guys hadn't heard my rants a couple streams ago, especially with the karmic video coming out and everything else, I was just like, I was like, JoJo, what are you doing? This could have been an amazing launch. It could have worked in your favor, but it didn't work. She was listening to the wrong people. I am so happy that, I don't know if she heard me or not, but I recommended that she should just go do, I saw her playing drums on a TikTok one day and I said, you need to go do in Australia, you need to find G Flip, you need to go and do that. And she did. And she did. And the level of karmic change I have seen for JoJo Siwa, I am dumbfounded. I am so proud of her, because even though her newest song that she just teased on her TikTok isn't the bombshell degree that it used to be, like for Boomerang. However, it's the perfect song that I can see her being able to weave her way back into the arms of the fans she lost. Because whether she wants to admit it or not, she did. She took a hit. And she's smart enough. Thank God. I don't know if it's her mom, which could be, because Jess has been navigating this industry for quite some time. But somebody stepped in there and said, we've got to stop listening to these yes people. We need to start listening to your fans, and we need to realign, readjust. It's okay for you to be yourself. You can go and have the Miley Cyrus era, but JoJo did it the wrong way. And even to somebody like me, who's 40 years old, who was like, okay, I knew this was coming because every 20-year-old goes through it. Even I went through it. She could have, I was highly disappointed in who was ever instructing her behind the scenes, because it was very clear to me that they were not guiding her to find herself in a way that was going to be adhering to the populace of her fans. And that has shifted. She has, I don't know if it's her girlfriend too, which she could be a positive, well, she is a positive influence. I'm not even going to say that because I can see that. The girlfriend is a very positive influence. JoJo needed somebody who was going to keep her grounded. And that's what I see that this girlfriend does. So it's perfect. So JoJo, you're doing great, girl. The level of positive karma you're starting to build, you might be able to actually build that wave crest before the end of June, before summer solstice, which right now you had fallen off your board. And from what I can see, you're getting back on it, and you're swimming back up to the crest of that wave. And girl, you know you can do it. If there's anybody who can fall off their board and crest back to that wave, it's you. This is just a bigger wave than you're used to climbing because it's emotional. Just know that Pisces, it's because of all these bigger influence planets that are causing all this underlying deep emotion to bubble to the surface. That is why a lot of this stuff is a lot harder for these famous people to get through than it's ever been before. No offense to people in the industry, but you're very good at being able to mask and bury your own emotions in order to put on a brave face to be able to work. I do the same thing when it comes to my live stream. This is something that unless you are being honest with both yourself and your Patreons, it's not going to work anymore. So that's that. Also, just know that Jupiter in Gemini and the Cancer moon is what has been strongly influencing JoJo Siwa and this shift of change. Okay. The next thing is going to be something that's a little controversial. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. However, Kelly and Christy's conversation on their most recent podcast kind of confirmed this for me without even realizing what they were confirming. I have felt some tension between Brooke and Kalani ever since they both got engaged. I have felt this. They have done very good. I'm going to, first of all, props to the PR teams, because whoever is handling their PR, you can't really pick up on it. However, I'm a very strong psychic. I see things I shouldn't see. I pick up on things I shouldn't pick up on. I've been held guilty of it and accused of it my whole life. However, there is certain energies that is just the energies that are between Kalani and Brooke, I can feel there's some sort of hidden competition, conflict. My wedding's going to be better than your wedding. I don't want you at my wedding. How dare you do your wedding at the same time as my? There's just something here where it's not a friendly competition. And first of all, Kendall, be careful. I understand you want to navigate both sides. Just don't end up being the pawn they use against each other. Second of all, Kelly, I can completely understand why maybe you didn't get invited to the wedding, considering the whole situation with Kira and Kalani is kind of what led to the whole blow up between you and Abby. So maybe some underlying tension, resentment. There's so much that I can see is just like underlying and bubbling where they're like not at the wedding. And I kind of agree with it. But at the same time, how dare they? How dare they not invite one of the funnest dance moms to the wedding? I'm sorry, but that wedding is not going to be the same without both Kelly and Christy together. And so I don't know. My heart goes out to you, Kelly. The other situation is in Dance Moms and Back to the Bar. Christy actually asked for the fans to let her know when we stopped kind of watching the Dance Moms. And I was like, you can't answer that with one just simple answer. So here's my answer to that question. To tell you the truth, after season 3, after the whole continued extenuated, because they left out a lot of stuff in the seasons that they have now of how long they kind of dragged that out. There's almost like 4 or 5 episodes that are missing. That was that whole situation that happened. And after season 3, I was kind of uncomfortable watching the show. That's when the show became more like, I'm kind of just watching this because I'm dedicated to it and I've got faith in these girls and I'm a huge fan, and but it was just like enough is enough. There were so many times where I was just like, gosh, enough already, enough with it. Can we just have the girls dance? Can we just have the competition? I mean, there's enough with the competition and trying to get ready and the costumes and can we stop with the whole pitting people against each other crap? And so just so you know, after season 3 is when it started becoming uncomfortable. When I rewatch all my episodes based on my mood, this is how I figured this out, is I actually watch episodes based on my mood. If I'm in a happy-go-lucky mood and I just want to have some fun entertainment in the background, I'll watch seasons 1, 2, or 3. If I want to hear the drama and the chaos and everything else, and I want to liven, because my life's a little bit boring and I want to liven it up a little, I'll watch 4, 5, 6, 7. It really does come down to which emotion I'm in that I want to satisfy when it comes to watching it. And that's when I realized that it was really after season 3 that I was uncomfortable with it. And when I reassessed, why did I keep watching it if I was so uncomfortable? The truth is I was really hoping that the 3 of you would come back. I thought it would be, I know how PR works. I thought it would be a phenomenal storyline to have 3 of you come back reunited, and and there's this loving, I really thought with how bad the blow up was that the outcome was going to be this positive, we can work through this, we can work together, we're a team, we're a family, look, if I was running the show, I would have found a dialectical behavioral counselor and I would have had them work with you guys, and I would have had that be the joyous outcome, is everybody doing their dare script with each other and being able to communicate on a level where everybody in the end advances. And that's why I kept watching it, is I was really hoping for that happy ending. And it came for Chloe somewhat, but you could tell and that's what was hard about the last season, is it was a good concluding season. It was a nice ending and tying up some loose ends, but at the same time, there was so much pain and so much unfinished business that was in that situation, and there was so much struggle. And as somebody who's been through a lot of tough times and years of counseling since I was 7, and you'll hear it in my psycho to psychic episodes, I've been through a lot. And I know what it's like to have to spend years recovering from trauma that happened within a couple of hours. And that's what broke my heart, I think, the most about the end of the season was I didn't see how these girls were going to be able to not be in pain after the show ended. And that, I think, is what pissed me off the most. And when I saw the reunion, it just confirmed a lot of what I had suspected at the end of the season, that these girls were going to struggle with what they went through for years to come. And they did. And I'm just so happy that they have, that the parents, the moms, definitely did some work behind the scenes to make sure that there was some conversations, there was some therapy, there was some trauma recovery, definitely. There was some, abilities and soothing techniques put in place. And I think in the end, some very healthy, strong women came out of a situation that should have destroyed these children. And I give you props. And I'm so happy that these women are using their platform to continue speaking. Those that are strong enough to speak can speak. And especially Kalani, because finding out that Kalani and I have a similar story in regards to struggling, except for the fact that I actually did, achieve my goal of, unaliving myself. But to hear that even Kalani struggled with something like that, and that's another thing that I could relate to with them. I'm so proud of these women for coming out and using their story. But to answer Christy's question, season three is when I got uncomfortable. And the only reason I held out was I was praying that you, Kelly, Brooke, Paige, and Chloe would return. And when you didn't, it was not the ending to this amazing series that I had hoped it would be. So on that note, I held up during the break for Diane, since you texted me. During the break, I held up my positive and negative list. Sorry, I forgot to send that to you this week. I did do it. It's there. For any of you who are curious, every week I go through, just do a mental check over Hollywood to see who's on the positive side of karma and on the negative side of karma. And that was the list I held up. And with that, I just wanted to add that, because she asked, so answering your questions, Diana. Diane, do that. Diane, there's no A at the end of her name, Diane. Baldwin and Gypsy are going to be receiving the same backlash as Snow White. There's just Baldwin, their shows are going to come out, and when their shows come out, truthfully, it's going to be, and that's the problem with what is going on nowadays. Hollywood is using that old trick where we'll just pull it out of the light and hope that everybody shushes up about it. And then when it comes up, nobody will remember anything. The problem is our generation has memories like elephants. We have to remember passwords. 500 of them before there was passwords managers and all that. We had to remember a lot. And prior to that, we had to memorize phone numbers and addresses. We don't forget stuff. Our generation doesn't forget stuff. Not only that, but it's more like, oh, question, Google, look, 500 websites giving me the information. So just know that's why. Baldwin, Gypsy Rose, it's gonna be when their show comes out and people are like, oh, who's this Gypsy Rose lady? Because that's another thing. People aren't watching on TV, and because you can blame mainstream media and Politico for this, okay? And especially now that USAID and that stuff has come out, people don't believe what they see on TV anymore. They see what they see on TV and go, okay, research. That's the difference between our parents' generation and our generation. Our generation doesn't take things at face value anymore. We like looking under the surface. We like deep diving. For the older generation that's used to sweeping stuff under the rug, it doesn't work for them. That's another reason why it's not going to work. Beyonce, it's coming out and they're trying to sweep this under the rug and it's not going to work. Beyonce's gold parties, they're showing me that actions speak louder than words. And it's very revealing if you look over what was considered somebody else's party, that somebody else is picking it back up. Jay-Z, you better watch out. This is the way they're going to get. If they're looking for a back door, they just found it. Let's put it that way. For the Kardashians, they're referencing the Kardashian. God, you go fast. Oh, please forgive me. I just realized that. I'm like, I'm like, why am I running out of breath? Because I have literally, that's what happens when I auto talk, when I connect to them and I auto talk. Woo! Okay, so give me a second, guys. Catch my breath. You're fine. I want the information. I ran out of air. Oxygen, human, alive, need to breathe. Okay. All right, the Kardashian curse. Basically, they're referencing that there's something along the lines, and I don't know if this is true. I saw a little blurb on it. It might be true, might not be. They're referencing that the seance or the request that they had of Marilyn Monroe has not been granted. Therefore, the Kardashian curse has been extended. The blockades that were once put in place in order to protect the girls from the Kardashian curse are now blown out of the water. Basically, you're going to see every negative thing that the Kardashians have ever done over the last 25 years is all going to come crashing down and come to head. For those of us that are succeeding, we are at the crest of the wave on the surfboards. For the Kardashians, they're standing on the shoreline looking at it. Oh. Now I know why part of my notes say bye, bye, bye. Okay, the other part of my notes is someone is about to turn on the family and expose everything, and this particular person cannot be denied nor rebutted because who the matriarchs of the family are, they will be able to expose the normal strategies of this person. They're referencing that Andrew Tate connected Romania to the Diddy situation. Kardashians are Romania. You put the puzzle pieces together. They're also referencing that a hidden clue was mentioned in Chloe's episode when she was talking about this whole situation. So I don't know exactly what's going to come to surface. Internet sleuths, do your sleuthing. We will see what happens. But from what I can see, it has to do with the Romanian grandmother putting in place a spell of some sort where she cursed a male line so that all the females could get power from whatever men they dated. And this is about to be reversed tenfold because Marilyn Monroe's pissed. And I don't know exactly how that all connects. I would love to talk to the Kardashians just to figure this out. Do I ever think I'd talk to them? No. Who am I kidding? But I find that very interesting that that's what they're referencing and they're saying. So basically they're wow, that's new. That's new information. They're telling me now that if you want to know how bad the karmic hammer is going to come down for most people by the end of the year, you'll be able to detect that by what's going to happen to the Kardashians in June. Ooh, that's very interesting. Also, for anybody who's also been following along with the law stuff, in regards to the Kohlberger and the Kohlberger case, especially, my prediction about it not being Kohlberger that's guilty and that it might possibly be a cover-up of the Idaho Police Department. My gut instinct has always been, and I could be wrong on this, this is my speculation, this is just what they've shown me, that the Idaho Police Department, there was 3 people that were actually harassing and following these young college girls. This was something that they did on the reg, like everybody in the neighborhood knew it. Kohlberger is a scapegoat, just like Karen Reed is a scapegoat for the Pennsylvania cops, because what they've shown me with the Karen Reed case is that it was actually friends who were inside the house who were alcohol and drunk that came out and got in an argument with Karen Reed's whatever and shoved him and didn't realize because they were all intoxicated just how hard he shoved him, and now they're trying to put it on Karen Reed. So we'll see what happens, but a lot of what I suspected about these 2 cases are especially starting to come out into fruition, and I'm only bringing this up because a lot of this stuff is moving a lot quicker than I thought that it would, and I think that a lot of my predictions might get proven by the time that we start the Law T if it gets launched, because stuff is moving so fast in the Kohlberger and the Karen Reed case simply because of discovery, evidence, hearings, and everything else that, and with how it's almost as if the Kohlberger and Karen Reed case is literally shifting with the moon. It's like every time we have a moon shift, there's something new that happens in the case. Diddy is more in line with the Venus shifts, but I just found, Mercury. Yes, you were very correct. Sorry. He's more, Diddy is more in line with the Mercury shifts. That's wow. That's why there's evidently a slowdown in what's going on in his case right before the retrograde hits, because when retrograde hits, it's in his case, it's going to be the double down of karma. His whole team, for Diddy, they're referencing that his whole team is going to get hit by the retrograde of Mercury, not the defense or the prosecution. Negative is going to get hit, positive is not, and Diddy's on the negative side of things with that. So we'll have to see what happens in regards to these situations. But on that note, we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. And then after that, I am going to cover horoscopes for everybody. And I have your Saturday and Sunday horoscopes. We'll review Friday again and then do Saturday and Sunday. So 20 minutes on the clock. And unmute it, and I will see you guys in 20 minutes. All right, in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to That's the end of that sprint. Okay, so we got a couple different things going on here. First of all, yes, I got a little distracted on something else on the, logistics end, on the back end of things, because, that's what happens when you stream live. Things happen on the back end. First of all, there's a couple of channels that I want to thank for a lot of the information that I use in regards to mapping out social influences and everything else. So I just wanted to give a shout out to these couple channels. We've got, starting from bottom to top, Jesse on Fire, D Very Darkins, WDW Pro, Sky News, Global News, Long Crime, Popcorn Planet, Pop and Politics, Ryan Hall, Weather on the Go, Stefan Barnes, and Swell Entertainment, and Mike Zero. Those are my main go-to channels. I would have to thank WDW Pro for a lot of the Disney stuff, and Pop and Politics and Popcorn Planet for both the politics and the mainstream media stuff. So those are my, and Clownfish Media. I'm sorry, I missed Clownfish Media. So those are my kind of go-to channels for information in case you're ever wondering where I get my informations from. Those are my sources. So I have a reading for Diane that she had me pull the cards while we were on that sprint and just said for me to read them out once we started. So for Diane, you had me do 2 sets. You had me do the crystal set and the, oh, look at that. We had a hidden one under the Alice in Wonderland set. So I started with the rose set and then I did the Alice in Wonderland. So the rose set, the crystal set, sorry. I saw rose because rose quartz in reverse was your first card for your past. Then you had the Severos green quartz for your middle. And then you had the Clairaudience for your last card. And what those mean are, so self-love, self-worth, being enough, and worthiness, which explains why, like, that's for you to be choosing the past that you're choosing and having to be at a divide, that it makes sense that your past is about self-worth and self-growth. Essential meaning for the green Sverios quartz was life's on life's terms. Accept of our place in the world, heaven on earth, what is meant to be. That could mean that the job probably isn't, the option 1 might not be available to you, so we might have to go with option 2. And your last card is increased confidence, dignity, poise, and self-assurance. So this might be one of those situations that even though the path you want to take is not, the path you're choosing between, let me start over. Forgive me. You're choosing between 2 paths. I know you want one over the other. We flipped a coin. We wanted one over the other. This is telling you that even though you go down the path you don't necessarily want, it's going to be inevitably the path you wanted in the first place. The other path is not showing, and that's true. There's a lot of hidden agendas in path number 1 that you're not picking up on yet that could derail what you're trying to do. Path 2, you've got lanterns at every single step of the way. So I would go with path 2, even though it's not necessarily the path you wanted to take. And then in regards to that as well, with the second set of cards, they say the same thing, because you've got the 10 of Spheres, then you've got the moon in reverse, then you've got the Hierophant, and then you've got the 10 of Spears. Okay, so sorry, the 8 of Spears in reverse. Okay, so this is basically saying, again, it might not be the path you want to take, but it's going to be the path that inevitably does you the greatest. And just remember, when things are uncomfortable, that doesn't necessarily mean they're wrong. It could just mean because they're new. Okay, and I say that to a lot of clients, especially when you're having to choose between those 2 paths. I've had to oftentimes trust in knowing what feels right versus whether it's uncomfortable but feels right, or there's something screaming at me telling me don't go this way. So on that note, we're going to jump into horoscopes, and if my mouse will work. Hi, thank you. Yes, lovely. Okay, so the way that we basically do this is we start with Aries, and then we work our way to the end. I usually leave Scorpio to the end simply because I am a Scorpio, and if I try to do Scorpio in the middle, my angels start throwing in messages, and I get all discombobulated, so it's just easier for me to keep them until the end. So this is going to be a quick rundown of Friday, Saturday. We're going to cover Friday, even though we're at the end of it. Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Pardon me. That one was loud. You guys are strong today. Always, right before I do horoscopes, they make me burp. Please forgive me for that. So we're going to do a quick little run over of Friday, and then we're going to go into Saturday and Sunday, okay? Monday's energies are going to be a little bit similar to Sunday's energies, so we'll go from there. Yeah. Let's just say daylight savings time. When I tried to meditate on Mondays for you guys, they threw a wrench at me because they're like, we can't tell you. Daylight savings time always screws everybody up so bad that shift, like we can't get a clear read on it. So just know for Monday, I'm sorry, please forgive me, but that's why. So Fridays for Aries, my Aries babies. Intense positive decision-making energies, supportive emotional energies with focus on home-related projects and into the end of the day. I have suppository emotionals. That's why I had to stop. God, I think AI changed my wording because that's not what I had yesterday, but that's cracking me up. Anyway, so that was today. Into Saturdays, you have frustrating and tension-filled energies to start. Narrow-minded thinking with logical undertones towards the middle of the day, with positive energies and communications, especially in the home-related projects by the end of day on Saturday. Into Sunday, you have strong, thoughtful, and intuitive-filled energies with the ability for deep thought and examination of inner workings. Intellectual and knowledge-based energies come in at the end of day. For Sundays, guys, just know we have a lot of thought-provoking, thought-enduring, thought-processing information or energies that are going to come in on Sundays, okay? For my Taurus, on Fridays, you had insightful, playful energies to start, scattered thoughts with strong energies and decision-making, harmonious. We have harmonious twice. Harmonious energies with confident undertones into the end of day. So I swear this is not what it was like Wednesday, because I did Friday on Wednesday, and I swear that wasn't like that. Harmonious energies with confident undertones into the end of the day. That was for today. Into Saturdays, we got inquisitive and investigatory type energies with a focus on the long term in the career. Active mental energies with learning type energies towards the middle of the day. Discovery and cooperative energies towards the end of the day for my Tauruses. On Sunday, you have productive thought oriented energies with motivated, dedicated energies and a strong focus on projects and ventures by the middle of the day. Collaborating and networking type energies with inspirational undertones. It's going to be a good time to redefine those goals on Sunday for you Tauruses, okay? On Geminis, on Fridays, we've got positive energies towards ideas and projects, re-energizing energies in financial and business, active empowerment and achievement-oriented energies with an undertone of excitement by the end of day. On Saturdays for you Geminis, we've got suffocating and closed-minded energies with stubborn, frustrating, and inflexible energies to my Geminis. Saturday, hide if you can. If you can just stay home, stay off the internet, get a book, sit by the fire, go outside, go for a walk, just hide. Just don't associate with anybody because you are going to be your own worst enemy on Saturdays, okay? The good news is you've got improving and spirited energies towards the end of the day, but for the most part on Saturdays for you Geminis, it's going to be a very rough emotional day, so be aware. Sundays, unique intellectual and serious energies come into play for you Geminis with a need for inspiration and meaning to your life. Questionable investigative type energies with a gravitation towards healing do come in by the end of the day. So whatever burns you on Saturday, just know you'll have the energies on Sunday to be able to mend from it, okay? For my Cancers, connective, motivating, and enthusiastic energies we're all about today. Strong ability to express yourself, competitive, motivating, pursuing type energies with the willingness to take necessary advances and leaps. They're referencing that into Saturday. Inquisitive, anxiety-filled energies with nervous undertones will take hold. You will have the ability to get stuck and stagnant in your own thought and emotional process. Be aware of this. They're referencing that intense, impulsive energies, especially in emotion, come in midday with pleasing, problem-solving, and motivating energies with an enthusiastic and inspirational undertone by the end of the day. Cancers, you are very much going to have a Gemini day on Saturday. It's going to start out really bad and really overwhelming, and then it's going to end great. So don't let your own thoughts get in your way on Saturday, Cancers, okay? Into Sunday, you've got goals and long-term plan-oriented energy with a focus of needing to understand. Business and financial energies do come into play with good energies in both problem solving and conversations. You're going to have the ability to see things from different perspectives on Sundays, so use this time to do any financial management that needs to be done for the week. For my Leos, motivating, communicative, and oriented type energies with a strong feeling in close relationships. The closer, the stronger the emotions were today. Remember that. Confident and decisive, focused energies come into play with, especially on unfinished projects. Into Saturday, you've got frustrating and resentful energies, especially in relationships and partnerships. A focus on business and financial with a practical and constructive undertones, especially with your inner workings. Saturday's Leos, you are going to pick yourselves apart. Just be aware of that. Do what you need to do to self-distract and self-soothe. You do have active and reflective energies that come into the end of the day that compile this. So Leos, be very, very careful on Saturday, okay? If you need to walk away from a situation, walk away. On Sundays, you've got strong energies for revelations, deep understandings and awakenings. Creative and communicative type energies come into the middle of the day, especially in the relationship sector. By end of day, you have attracting, interesting, and intellectual energies with the ability to get unique perspectives. Whatever causes problems on Saturdays, Leos, you can fix on Sundays. Okay, just best walk away from any situation on Saturday. Wait to Sunday to fix it. For my Virgos, cheerful, optimistic, helpful energies came in today with good team working or team building energies, motivating, re-energizing type energies, especially in networking and communications. Into tomorrow, you're going to have the total shift from today into tomorrow, guys. You're going to do a complete 180, Virgos. Insecure and moody energies to start with worry-filled and investigative energies with very frustrating undertones. Tomorrow's going to be a bad day. Tomorrow's going to be a bad day for my, hold on, my computer just yelled at me, so give me a second, guys. I got to take care of something real quick. Okay, that should help. There we go. Okay. All right. So sorry about that, guys. We had to fix something on the back end. All right. So for my Virgos, oh man, sorry, Cora. Sorry, Cora. Sorry, Danielle. Oh gosh. I have a couple of clients who are Virgos that are probably mad at me. Okay, so just know, let me start over with Saturday. Insecure, moody energies to start with worried, filled, and investigative energies with frustrating undertones. It's very much a hope for the best, plan for the worst, keep your mind in the middle type of day. Unfortunately, they had no good news towards the end of the day. So those energies are literally going to last the whole day. The good news is, though, is on Sunday, we got enthusiastic, inspirational energies with strong motivations and inspiring energies, especially in relationship and travel. You might get that little itch to want to go somewhere new on Sunday. Investigatory, research-oriented type energies come into play, especially in connections and communications by end of day. So Saturdays for Virgos, again, hide, kind of like Geminis. Hide if you can on Saturdays and reemerge on Sundays. But just know that anything you break on Saturday can be fixed on Sunday. Okay, the energy is on your side. For my Libras, We had ambitious awakening and rekindling type energies with an undertone of harmony today. Desire, confidence, take charge type energy with a focus on reputation and career. Motivating and positive outlook by end of day. Saturday, you've got defensive, sensitive energies. Be careful not to take conversations too seriously. Misinformation and disorienting type energies do come in all day. They're referencing that by end of day, you're going to have re-energizing and enthusiastic energies. So take care of yourself as best you can until the end of the day. On Sunday, you're going to have helpful and rewarding energies in conversations and communications. These energies continue and gain strength throughout the day. So plan accordingly, because you've got good planning, organizing, strategizing type energies that come into play. Libras, if you haven't done your taxes, Sunday is going to be a good day for you to analyze all that information and be able to get them done. Okay. Sagittariuses, you had courageous, demanding, yet gratifying energies that came in today. Intimate, domestic, and pursuing energies with confident undertones. Easy flowing and complacent with investigative undertones as well. Into Saturday, you're going to have strong ego and pride-oriented energies. Tense, challenging, and fearful energies do come into the middle of the day. Sagittariuses, you're going to be very defensive on Saturday, okay? Everybody else seems very aggressive. You are actually going to be very responding to those energies. Take care of yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect, okay? Navigate accordingly. Enthusiastic, forward-moving, capable energies with constructive abilities by the end of day, especially in relationships and partnerships. Jen, hello. Yay, Saturdays are your productive days usually. Well, if you have to hide on Saturdays, we've got good energies for you to just stay home and focus on yourself. For my Sagittariuses, into Sundays, we've got redesigning, re-energizing, rearranging energies, especially in the home and the domestic environment. You've got motivating, problem-solving, meaningful energies in communications, connections, and networking with positive perspectives. Basically, Sundays, Sagittariuses, if you have any of those business calls, those communications that you need to tie up loose ends in order to make those final deals, it's going to be Sunday. I hate that it's Sunday to get business deals done, but it is. So take them out to dinner, wine them and dine them, and get those get things signed and finished. For my Capricorns, on Fridays, you've got innovative and we've got innovative and forward-moving energies with harmonizing energies in relationship and partnerships that comes in midday. Motivating, independent, free-wielding energies come in by end of day. Be sure to rein yourself in and don't go overboard. Capricorns, you're going to have that type of energy where you're like a 5-year-old carrying their diaper, screaming with your naked butt down the street. Okay, you're going to have that type of energy. Don't buy into it. Have the energy, but don't let it control you. On Saturdays, you're going to have worries and insecurities, especially in money and finances. And this is why I'm basically saying that, because they're referencing, if you guys use this confidence tonight and you go overboard, you can end up spending too much money. And it's going to be one of those things where you wake up Saturday morning going, crap, how much did I spend last night? And your head is going to be throbbing along with your wallet. So just know Saturday worries and insecurities and money and finances start out. Distracting and interfering mental energies comes in. Direct, disarming, attractive energies do come into personal relationships by the end of day, but you have disruptive and conflicting mental energies as well. On Sunday, you have strong energies in dreams. I have dramas, but it's supposed to be dreams. Strong energies and dreams and inspirations to start. Insightful and perspective energies and conversations with interesting people. The more interesting, the better the conversations. Controversial conversations focus on home and domestic into the evening with ways to improve come end of day. I was a Capricorns. Sunday is going to be one of those coffee shop days. If you go to coffee shops, I have a couple Capricorn friends who go to coffee shops just to have interesting conversations with people. It actually works better in Hollywood than it does out here. I'm just going to say that. But that's going to be, Sunday is going to be your day to do it. All right. What is that, Jen? I've had like 2 weeks of unproductive days. It's been that way. Venus is in retrograde right now. So she's been causing that slow down kind of thing. It's been a wave type movement where you'll have like 2 days of productivity and then 1 day of just like, and then 2 days of productivity. Blame Venus in retrograde for that. And just know that Venus is going to be in retrograde till the 12th of April, but we have Mercury that's going into retrograde around the 14th of March. So you're going to feel this lull, that pull. Prep, because in the next coming month, you're going to feel that drag twice as much. Okay. And it's going to have irritable and underlying energies too, because it's Mercury, and Mercury going to retrograde throws everybody for a loop. Okay. So just be aware. So for Aquariuses, Friday, you've got improving and attention-seeking type energy with focus. We did Capricorn. Step aside. It's her turn. Okay, so on Fridays, improving and attention-seeking type energies with a focus on money and management resources. Decision resolving, refueling, confident type energies come in by midday with a full take charge and motivating energies to end the day. So Aquariuses, you guys are just like, woohoo, let's get stuff done right now. On Saturday, you'll have rebuilding and improving energies with a slight slowdown as the month focuses in on improvements of money and decision making. Strong problem-solving energy does come in with an underlying pull towards instincts, with a motivating energy that pushes towards accomplishments. So you're going to have basically Saturday is going to be one of those days that you're going to be wanting to reassess those projects, reassess those to-do lists. And I'm rephrasing that because the way that they had me word that didn't even make sense in my own mind when I heard it. So I'm just going to kind of reiterate what they're trying to say here. So on Sunday, we've got grounded and secure energies to start with strong creative and communication energies that come into the middle of the day, attracting and confident energies with connecting and communications by end of day. So just know that the conversations on Sunday are going to be able to fix any confusions that you might have on Saturdays. Why do I feel like we're talking to somebody particular? I feel like there's an Aquarius. If there is an Aquarius watching, just know that is specifically for you. And that's only if you're watching live, because you can't do that you can't replay and use that as an excuse. I've had clients try that before, but you said on this live stream, that was a live stream. You had to have been there. Okay. So for my Pisces, on Fridays, you've got confident and creative energies, especially in romance and social pursuits, courageous and spontaneous energies with independent and competitive energies towards the end of the day. On Saturday, be aware, the Cancer moon is flowing you Pisces for a loop, because you've got overwhelming, guarded, and private energies with sensitive and enthusiastic, both uplifting and insecure energies towards the mid of the day. Okay. You're going to be going back and forth in your insecurity issues, Pisces. Just know that. Desires and passions come into focus and forefront with innovative, creative, and initiative type energies that come in end of day. On Sunday, you've got motivating, imaginative, and creative energies that continue throughout the entire day. A need to find more meaning in all pursuits. Planning, mapping into constructive type energies with deep conversations and connective do come in by end of day. If there's any trips, any plans that you guys are doing for Christmas or summer, Pisces, this is going to be the great time. Or if you're planning any weddings or anything like that, this is going to be the best time to fine tune those details in regards to that stuff. Okay. For my Scorpios, on Friday, we've got confident and harmonious energies with clarity in spirit and self-expression. Adventuresome and inspiring type energies with the ability to focus and refine. Active, rebuilding, and purposeful energies do come in by end of day. Look at that. I'm live streaming. Purpose-oriented energies. In Saturday, we've got intense and strong roller coaster type energies, both mental and physical and emotional. Okay, so Scorpios, prepare. That trifecta that normally hits us once a year, guess what? It's hitting us tomorrow. Just be aware. Back and forth, up, down, up and down, back and forth, up and down. That's what makes the world go round. That's the type of energies that you're going to need to have to navigate tomorrow. If any of you remember The Sword and the Stone and the scene where they end up as fish in the water and they're singing that song, that's basically the visual and the song that they gave us Scorpios on how to navigate Saturday. Okay. Hopeful, inspiring, and satisfying type energies with strong connections and conversations do come in midday. Hesitant and impatient type energies will round off the evening for us. On Sunday, we've got unique, inspiring, free-thinking type energies, rewards in different experiences and perspectives, strong problem-solving and solution-oriented energies with a dynamic, creative undertone does come in midday, with information for improvements and vulnerabilities in relationships come in by the end of day. So Scorpios, we are going to have a very hard, difficult, emotional roller coaster type weekend. So if you can, hide. For a lot of our emotional sensitive signs, do you notice an overall pattern here? Hide. So that is our forecast for the weekend horoscopes. And that is also the end of our stream. For those of you that are return viewers, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for seeing. Thank you for hitting that like button and subscribing. I do see it. I do appreciate it. And I love it. I have managed to double my subscriber count and my view count and everything across the board. All the YouTube numbers on the back end have doubled in the last month. And I have nothing but you guys to thank for it. So thank you for tuning in and being interested in what I'm sharing with you, because I wouldn't be able to do this without you. And I appreciate it. Also, just know next week we're going to be covering a lot of different things, including daylight savings time, the full moon rituals that we're going to be doing. And then we're actually going to be doing a little bit of fun coloring of eggs and holiday prep for Ostara that's coming up. Just remember, we have our St. Patty's Day stream that we're going to be doing, a drunk party stream. I've got trivia, I've got quizzes, I've got green colored drinks to try with my special guest, Jack Byron Wright, who lives in Ireland. And I'm so grateful that he's going to be able to join us for that. And in May, we've got my rebirthing party that's coming up to celebrate my crossing over and coming back, and pretty much God saying, no, you're not done yet. Go home. You're going back. We're going to have May Day quizzes and Cinco de Mayo type stuff to celebrate. So that's coming up. And other than that, I hope you guys lift your drinks and cheers along with me. And may your angels be strong. May your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys on Monday. Bye.